Hello everybody, I'm Mari Carmen de Castro Cabrera from UK's Research Group at University of Cádiz, Spain. Welcome to my presentation for track software verification and testing in the 35th Symposium of Applied Computing. The title is Trends in Prioritization of Test Case from 2017 to 2019. This work has been done in collaboration with the Research Group, EAS, Aston University, United Kingdom. One of the tasks in software testing is the design of test suites. Large test suites may take too long to run frequently, and test case prioritization, TCP on words, techniques has been proposed to speed up the detection of faults. These techniques have become increasingly popular, and the number of publications has grown in recent years. Surveys have covered most of the techniques, but the latest included only publication until 2016. The interest is growing, and the new proposal has been developed in the last 3 years. This paper aims to complete that survey, providing the latest development in TCP to respond to this growing interest. Specifically, we use the taxonomy proposed by Catisarvini et al. In the most important publication from 2017 to the present day, 2019. Before we begin our review, let us recall the main lines of Catisarvini reviews. The papers were classified into journals, articles, conference papers, and symposiums and workshops. 5 criteria were applied to evaluate the quality of the work: precision of the objectives, clarity in the description of the approach, adequacy of the design of the strategy of the experiments, a case study, and it is an improvement in the state of the art. The selected works were grouped into 7 categories: coverage-based, requirement-based, risk-based, search-based, fault-based, history-based, and other-based. Our research questions in our work are: is the taxonomy defined by Catisarvini et al. Still valid for the state of the art in the test prioritization? Have there been changes in the popularity of the various types of TCP techniques since the original survey? How did the new approaches impact to the TCP results? How were these new approaches validated? And how are the new approaches distributed across application domain? We have chosen the following sources to identify primary studies: IEEE Explorer, Scopus, and Google Scholar, and the inclusion and exclusion criteria. Inclusion criteria: English, test case prioritization, 2017 to 2019. Exclusion criteria: non-English, other topic, and other dates. Referent date synthesis and iteration: the 3 repositories mentioned previously were analyzed. IEEE Explore, 170 papers, Scopus, 238 papers, and Google Scholar, 126 papers. The results were then gathered, removing duplicates and filtering out those that were outside the scope of the topic, as well as those that were not accessible. Once this has been done, the results have been classified according to the category of the reference review in order to obtain the trends in these 3 years, as you can see in the following section. All in all, more than 300 papers were found in this period about test case prioritization. The highlight about the research question are: is the taxonomy defined by Gattisarvini et al. Still valid? The new paper motivates the creation of several new categories. For instance, location-based. Location and points of interest are correlated by their location proximity via the services. Machine learning based. These techniques use learning, data history, execution times, description in natural language, etc. Neural network based. In order to increase the detection of faults in an application, an important function is defined and algorithm based on neural network are used, and empirical, from empirical studies on TCP in a certain domain or with a certain software, guidelines are established for the application of TCP techniques. In addition, the number of proposals that apply more than one technique and take into account various criteria when prioritizing test cases are highlighted on the next figure. Have there been changes in the popularity of the various types of TCP techniques since the original survey? The search-based category is still the most prominent, and in these 3 years, the number of publications has increased considerably. Cover-based, fault-based, and history are also highlighted, as is the reference report. Similarity stands out in the third place, which barely stood out in the previous year. Risk-based and requirements, which were an intermediate position in the previous period, are now very rare. How did the new approaches impact to the TCP results? The results show that the main TCP approaches used are search-based, cover-based, similarity-based, and fault-based. The focus on cost and multi-criteria has also increased notably. How were these new approaches validated? In most cases, they have been validated through their use in real application with adequate and similar metrics. The following describes the validation result for most of articles in the new category. For instance, location. Wang et al. Presented an empirical evaluation by using the industrial project. Machine learning. In Lanchat et al., the author testing the techniques on 2 systems to evaluate the ability of early detection. Wang et al. Present an improvement of retest, reinforced test case selection methods. Tool and Battery published a paper on prioritization in unit testing, where the test cases are classes of the object-oriented software. They use 2 evaluation techniques, cross-system validation, and leave one system out validation, which merge training sets from different systems. The learning to test in Chen et al. Used a learning to test approach to accelerate C compiler testing, demonstrating that it reduced the C compiler testing time significantly. Neural network, Sankur et al. The parameters used to measure the result were the error detection ratio and the execution time. A MATLAB simulation was used. Chatwidi et al. Considered several factors for prioritization: event type, event iteration, and event coverage. These factors were divided into low, medium, and high ranges. How are the new approaches distributed across application domains? In location, mobile device. In machine learning, the automotive sector, robotics, unit testing object-oriented software, and testing compilers. And in neural network, MATLAB simulation, and event-driven software. In summary, we conclude that this work completes the survey from Catisarvini et al. By providing the latest development in TCP. The results show that TCP is currently of a great deal of interest in the literature. The main categories are three: search-based approach, cover-based approach, and similarity-based approaches. Many papers combine multiple techniques to optimize the TCP process. And the future lines of work are: include quality attributes, consider datasets, experimental designs, and scientific rigor, produce new results sets, discarding paper below threshold, and empirical comparative study. These techniques are generally applied on very different case studies, so it is hard to compare in an apples-to-apples way. A study applying the best option from the previous analysis on a shared set of case study would be ideal. Thank you for your attention. You are welcome to contact us with any question you may have.